You've come to the right place if you're looking to create, launch, and scale a high-value online training program. I'm your guide, Chris Badgett. I'm the co-founder of LifterLMS, the most powerful learning management system for WordPress. Stay to the end. I've got something special for you. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of LMS Cast. I'm Chris Badgett, and today I'm doing a solo episode on the best plugins, the best WordPress plugins for your learning management system website, besides, of course, Lifter LMS. We're going to go over free plugins that I use on every LMS site that I build, and also some paid ones that are my top recommendations for the best plugins. Now, an LMS site is not just courses and memberships and e-commerce and student dashboards. It's also a fully functioning website that needs, things for marketing, things for operations, things for user experience, and things for scaling for when your website gets really successful. So think about Lifter LMS as the best all-in-one learning management system solution for WordPress. It covers all the LMS features, everything from courses, student dashboards, user accounts, reporting, gamification, engagement, all that stuff. All that LMS stuff is there. All the membership stuff is there for course bundles, for locking down access to other parts of your site outside of the courses. And also, Lifter LMS covers the e-commerce piece. So whether you're selling with taking credit card payments or PayPal payments, or you're using WooCommerce, or you want to do group sales where somebody buys a bunch of seats for a group of people, that's all covered within the Lifter LMS e-commerce. And then all the engagement features for gamification, like achievement badges, certificates, behavior-based emails that are triggered based on actions in the LMS. This is all included in Lifter LMS. So just about everything you need for a learning management system website is covered by Lifter LMS. However, Lifter LMS also plays nice in the sandbox with thousands and thousands of other WordPress plugins that do very specific things, some of which have specific integrations for Lifter LMS built into their plugin. So I'm going to go over my top ones today. I do recommend that you take a minimalist approach to plugins. Even when you install Lifter LMS, if you have the Lifter LMS Infinity Bundle, our top plan, I don't necessarily recommend that you install every single thing we make and turn it on unless you're going to use all those features, because Lifter LMS has a suite of about 25 different plugins that do different things, but you likely don't need every single one of those. The main part of this podcast is going to be about the top non-Lifter LMS plugins that I recommend. So let's start with some sort of utility plugins for site management and user experience. So these are two free plugins that I put on every site, and you may not have heard of them. So the first one, which is probably the first plugin I put on any LMS website besides Lifter LMS plugins, is called User Switching. That's a free plugin. You can just do a search for it. It's made by somebody named John Blackburn, and I absolutely love this plugin. All you do is you install it, and what happens is when you go to the users on your website, if you have this plugin installed and activated, you can switch to that user, which is super helpful for experiencing your website as somebody else on your website. So when somebody tells you, like if you're doing support for your website, your LMS website, and they say something like, I can't find X, or I can't do X, or this thing isn't working, the first thing I'll do is I'll go to the users on my website. I'll switch to that user, which is powered by the user switching plugin, and then try to recreate what they're saying is not working or they can't find. And I can literally just experience the website as them in the role that they are, usually as a student or a teacher on the website. So that's super helpful. I use that plugin literally every single day. The next one is called WP Mail Log. Now, what that does is it captures all the emails that are sent from your website so that you can look at them. And what I mean by that is we have a whole article on the LifterLMS website about the 5 different types of emails. I definitely recommend you check that out. There's a type of email called transactional email. So this is the most simple example of a transactional email is when somebody forgets their password and they click the forgot password link. They enter their email, the website sends them an email to click a link and choose their new password. That email communication is transactional email. That is not a broadcast email or a marketing email. When LifterLMS sends email notifications, and there's many of these, like a purchase receipt or an enrollment notification or one of our premium add-ons like private areas tells a user a new private post is ready for them to look at. These are all transactional emails. So if you ever want to see all the emails that your website is sending, not from your CRM or your marketing automation tool, but from the website itself, WP Mail Log, which is made by a company called WP Vibes, is fantastic for that. So it's really helpful for just if someone ever says like I didn't get the email, you can go look and you can see like, oh yeah, here it is. It was time stamped. It was sent at this time. I can see the content of the email and so on. So WP Mail Log, I highly recommend, and that is also free. The next is content delivery and learning assets related plugins. So WordPress is a content management system. You can stick anything you've seen on the internet, you can stick on a WordPress website or specifically an LMS website inside of lessons or on course pages or anywhere on your site, really. So there's a plugin called Embed Any Document that I absolutely love. The creator of that is awsm.in. There's a free version I use. They may have a pro version. But the reason I use this is WordPress is great at content management, but sometimes it needs a little boost for certain specialized types of documents. So if I ever want to put, say, a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation or a Apple Keynote presentation inside of a lesson, and I just want to put that PowerPoint file or that Keynote file as the content, I can do that with Embed Any Document. And I'm just using the free plugin for that, which is also great with when you have that document in your WordPress media library, using LifterLMS's features to protect that content and make that media private so the public can never find that document. Only the people that are supposed to find it can find it. It's pretty awesome. But anyways, go get yourself the Embed Any Document plugin. Another one, which is a premium plugin made by Barn2, is called Document Library Pro. This is awesome. So what this allows you to do, if your LMS website, your courses, or your coaching programs have a lot of files like templates, PDF documents, cheat sheets, spreadsheets, certain images, maybe CSV files, tons of different files are part of your membership or your LMS. Document Library Pro allows you to easily organize those, present those in a beautiful visual way, even inside of a table and stuff like that. So for example, the easiest way to think about it is if you have a coaching program and let's say you have 20 courses in there and it's all sold through one membership, they get the courses, but they also get this resource library. You can organize all those files using Document Library Pro and present them in a very visual way. And LifterLMS will then kind of come on top of that and protect access to those files for your members. So go check out Document Library Pro which is made by Barn 2 plugins. The next thing I want to talk about is just internationalization and customizing text and language on your website. The top plugin we recommend for that, which is also free, is called Loco Translate. That has over 1 million installs. It's made by somebody named Tim W. And so basically you can translate a LifterLMS website without custom development. Personally, I use Loco Translate in a little bit of a different way where let's say I want to customize something that LifterLMS does or another plugin does. So there's the text and the content you put on your site, but there's all these words and language all over your site that are kind of automatically generated that you can't edit. So an example of that would be at the bottom of every LifterLMS lesson is a mark complete button. And you can't edit the words mark complete. But if you're using Loco Translate, let's say your site's still in English, but you want it to say finish class instead of mark complete, you could just load up Loco Translate, find the mark complete string, and change it to finish class. It's super fast, super easy. That's using the free Loco Translate plugin. The next area of plugins I want to talk about is marketing, CRM, and revenue operations. So a top pick in the LifterLMS community is WP Fusion. That's made by very good plugins. So what WP Fusion does, they do have a free version, but I definitely recommend the paid version, is it basically syncs your site with your CRM or marketing automation platform. So for example, LifterLMS has integration directly with Kit, previously ConvertKit, and MailChimp. And back when we were building those, there were many others we wanted to build, but then WP Fusion showed up and built integration with Lifter, which means that whenever somebody enrolls in a course or becomes a user on your site, they're automatically synced to your marketing automation or CRM tool. And there's many companies, many CRM marketing automation platforms. Most of them are integrated with WP Fusion. So besides Kit and MailChimp, there are many other popular ones like ActiveCampaign, Keep, HubSpot, Zoho CRM, Salesforce. All of these are easily integrated using WP Fusion. So when things happen on your WordPress LMS website, a user is created. This episode of LMS Cast is brought to you by Pop-Up Maker, the most powerful, trusted pop-up solution for WordPress. Whether you're selling online courses or memberships, Pop-Up Maker helps you grow your email list, boost sales conversions, and engage your visitors with highly customizable pop-ups. Imagine creating custom opt-ins, announcements, and promotions that actually convert. I personally use Pop-Up Maker on my LifterLMS websites for lead magnet opt-ins, cart abandonment, upsells, downsells, and guiding users to helpful content. Pop-Up Maker is an essential tool for growing my email list and making more money online through my website. Ready to take your website to the next level? Head on over to wppopupmaker.com/LMScast and save 15% on your order. Discount automatically applies when you visit through that link. Pop-Up Maker also has an awesome free version, so you can just use that as well. Go to wppopupmaker.com/LMScast and save 15% off your order, or get started with the free version now. Get more leads and sales on your website with Pop-Up Maker today. Now back to the episode. or they enroll in a certain course and you want something to happen in the CRM or the marketing automation platform, or you want your users segmented by course so that they can be emailed as groups or cohorts separately based on their enrollment. That's all possible with WP Fusion. It has some more fancy stuff it does. I definitely recommend you get a license to WP Fusion. The next one is Pop-Up Maker by Code Atlantic, which is an awesome tool. Pop-Up Maker has actually sponsored this podcast, so you might be seeing a Pop-Up Maker spot in this episode. But Pop-Up Maker is incredible. I use it on all my sites. I use it on LifterLMS.com. I use it on academy.lifterlms.com and many other sites that we have. And Pop-Up Maker has super deep integration to LifterLMS. So Pop-Up Maker allows you to use pop-ups. Now, we have done a webinar with Pop-Up Maker recently where we go over all the details and how it works and what it does. But there's a lot of reasons to have tasteful, ethical, fun, engaging pop-ups on your site. There's things like exit intent. If somebody's going to leave and you want to pop a message before they go, or let's say somebody clicks a button and you want something to pop up for them to enter their email to download a resource. Or let's say somebody's abandoning a cart on a LifterLMS checkout and you want to throw a pop-up up with a discount code or remind them the value of what they're purchasing or whatever. That's all possible with Pop-Up Maker, and the integration is super deep with LifterLMS. It will really blow your mind once you start looking at all the things you can do with Pop-Up Maker and LifterLMS together. The next area I want to talk about is using data, forms, and building custom experiences. Now, LifterLMS has integration with 4 form plugins: Gravity Forms, Ninja Forms, Formidable Forms, and WP Forms. OS Form, or what's it called? Mark Westgard's form. WS Form is also another great one. So every WordPress website needs a form plugin. I recommend one of those 5. I'm going to use Gravity Forms as an example simply because that's what I've used for a long time on LifterLMS.com. So all my form stuff is really done with Gravity Forms because I've been using it forever. And the next tool I'm going to tell you about requires Gravity Forms to work. But yeah, you have a contact page on your site. Maybe you want to do an application process before people can join your coaching program or your membership. Maybe you want to register people for something, or you want to collect email addresses so people can get a lead magnet or a resource to add value to them while growing your email list. And again, WP Fusion, which I mentioned earlier, integrates with all these forms. So when people fill out these forms, it can pass the data to your marketing automation tool as well. So if you're using Gravity Forms, I highly recommend you get Gravity View, which is made by Gravity Kit. This is a premium plugin that has deep integration with LifterLMS. And it kind of, we have episodes on this podcast with Zach Katz that you can check out if you want to go deep into Gravity View and Gravity Kit and what all that does. But essentially, what Gravity View allows you to do is take form data in through a form and then display that data on your website wherever you want, however you want, as a view. So to give you a simple example, you could have a Gravity form that people leave testimonials for your website. They fill out, like, let's say the last lesson in your course asks people to leave a testimonial. They fill out the form, they add their picture, they add their message, they put in their website name, all the pieces we need for an effective testimonial, and then they submit it, and it can either publish instantly to the front end or go through a moderation step where you as the site owner would review it before it goes live. but it basically automates collection of data and displaying that data publicly. There's all kinds of fancy stuff you can do with Gravity View too inside of courses, like where, let's say you have a course that helps somebody build a business, and they are building a business plan as they go through the course, through the various lessons, and they keep submitting their information one lesson at a time. All that form data is collecting into a what ultimately becomes a business plan PDF and complete business plan, but you're collecting that data and you get this visual view that only that user can see of their business plan. So there's so much you can do with Gravity View. Check that out. The other area is SEO plugins, which are really helpful for getting traffic and building your reach and your audience and the amount of people that discover you over time. SEO still matters, even in a world of AI. So there's very specific, SEO is even more important for LMS websites than more of a regular marketing site, because so much content is behind a login. So to get found organically through something like a Google search, you really want to have some public content on your site, like a blog, informational pages and so on. And what SEO plugins do is they kind of make sure your site is in the right structure so search engines can read it. It gives you opportunity to modify things like meta descriptions, to work with your writing to make sure you're using your keywords effectively if you want to be found when somebody types a specific search into a search engine. So there's many great SEO plugins out there. I've been using Yoast SEO for a long time. I know folks also like Rank Math or All-in-One SEO, but definitely any website, if it's a business and you want help getting found on the internet, I do recommend installing an SEO plugin. Installing an SEO plugin and activating it doesn't instantly mean that you have great SEO now. It just means you have the infrastructure to work on your SEO and improve things. So that's it. Those are my top plugins. I'm not making this like my favorite 100 plugins, because there's literally hundreds of plugins that I love that do very specific things. But if I boil it all down into a plugin set that I would put on literally every LMS website I would build, number one is LifterLMS and whatever LifterLMS add-ons I need. But I would also put on user switching, WP mail log, embed any document, loco translate, WP Fusion, pop-up maker, Gravity View, document library pro, a form plugin, and an SEO plugin. And that's it. That's my minimalist approach to the best plugins for a WordPress learning management system website. So LifterLMS is all about helping you succeed. This podcast, we normally talk about topics to help you grow, not just about how LifterLMS works and how software works and stuff like that, but I wanted to do a technology-focused episode because we get this question all the time. And particularly if you're newer to WordPress, go check out all the resources I mentioned. It's about 8 different plugins. Try and take a minimalist approach, but just know that the 8 or so that I've recommended here are the top WordPress plugins. Most of them are free or have a free version that I put on every learning management system website that I build, and you would get incredible benefit from using as well. That's it for this episode. Reach out to LifterLMS with any questions. If you have tech questions or tools, drop comments below this. If you have tech questions and are trying to figure out plugins, we also have a dedicated page on our website. Just do a Google search for LifterLMS recommended resources, And in there, we'll have a more expansive list of the top plugins that we recommend and web hosting and all kinds of stuff for other software and hardware tools that you need for a learning management system website. I'm Chris from LifterLMS, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And that's a wrap for this episode of LMS Cast. Did you enjoy that episode? Tell your friends and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And I've got a gift for you over at LifterLMS.com/gift. Go to LifterLMS.com/gift. Keep learning, keep taking action, and I'll see you in the next episode.